All right, hey everybody. A little jacked up. All right.
One and all.
Ahoy! All right.
AC Pritchard.
Well,
What up?
welcome aboard. Join us
Where to,
while we
Captain?
sail the iron seas. Yeah. All right. Today we're joined as always with myself, the ultimate Kahuna, and AC Pritchard. Tonight we're going to be talking about some stuff, concerning some stuff about getting a little conservative media type stuff. Maybe a little bit. What was it?
Conservative media, Kahunas,
Yeah.
and more.
Kahunas and more. What was the other thing we were going to talk about, guys?
So there's only one question in regards to Kahunas: clean or jungle? No.
Always jungle.
There's situations for both, actually, too. I think.
I need the jungle just for when I fall. I need a cushion down there. Don't want to lose something. You know what I'm saying?
Insulation,
Yeah.
depending on what region you live in. You know.
All right. So the other thing we're going to talk, we're going to do some introductions, but we're also going to talk a little bit about Sweet Baby Ink and how that kind of ties into some of the book stuff, maybe. And then also some stuff about the toxicity ratings. But first, let's talk introductions.
Yes.
Kahuna, you first. How'd you get started? How'd you get here, I guess?
How'd I get here? Well, in 1993, my father met my mother. No. I was making videos when I was a little kid. Me and my siblings and friends, we put together all these WWE, like fake wrestling Raw style kind of videos when we were kids, and assassination movies and such, that when I was very young. And always thought it'd be fun to get into YouTube and do that. But then I got older, got busy, and it never happened. And last year, I made this channel because I felt like I had something to say and wanted to start making content. You know, can't let this blooming personality go to waste. And so here we
Absolutely not.
are.
Right. All right, Pritchard, what about you, man?
Well, I been writing basically my whole life. Got inspired from like games and movies and what have you, other books and all that. Started writing in high school and became a movie review columnist and like just a general journalist for like sports and stuff, because for my local newspaper. Did that for a little bit, moved on to music, did that for like a decade, got out of that. Always wanted to be an author, so here I am now. Got a book on Amazon and free stuff on Substack. So glad to be here. Glad to talk about like culture and storytelling. And whatever else you guys want, I'm ready to go.
Cool. All right. Hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, of course. Hey, about myself, I guess. So I was in the military after high school. Well, back up a little bit. I didn't read any books because I'm pretty much dyslexic.
Makes that harder.
Yeah. I just watched a lot of movies religiously, TV and everything like that. Went to the military, did my thing for 8 years. It came out, and I don't know, just something kind of hit me. I think it was probably a combination of Game of Thrones just crashing and then Star Wars crashing, and I just kind of had a little inspiration to write. Wrote my book, Planet of Babel. If you can see it a little bit.
Yeah.
Dawn Edge.
Hell yeah, brother.
Available on Amazon. I think I put in I think I have all of our links for things to buy, where to watch us, where to sub in the description. And I got another book on the way, and kind of getting to YouTube because I feel like that might be the best way to advertise a book or something. I enjoy talking about this stuff a lot.
There's nothing wrong with that, man. Some people are authors who get onto YouTube in order to promote their products. Other people are YouTubers who talk about books or whatever else, and then they're like, hey, I have this platform, I want to tell a story. And so I have this great reach provided by this platform, and I can use that to sell a book. And neither approach is wrong. It's just interesting to see people going at it from two different directions.
Of course. I was going to say, it reminds me that I do have the book for free on Substack. If you go sign up for my email list or not, but please do if you're going to read my book for free or listen to it for free. Audiobook. What were we going to say, Pritchard?
Oh, yeah. I think they have the option of like subbing for free and following now on Substack. It used to just be subbing, I think. I digress. Make sure you go do that. Pick up his book. Check it out. I'm sure it's good. I'm going to go check it out myself. Still got to like go harder on Substack, honestly, but I really love it. That brings me to what I was going to say is using YouTube is not only fun, but it's just like one of the superior video format platforms. Like you combo it with like TikTok and you got long form and short form. So you can like do like podcasts and stuff. Then you can like look at superior audio formats like Spotify. I would say Twitter is probably like the short format superior text platform aside from and then
I don't think Facebook doesn't really compare in that regard anymore.
Facebook is just
moved away
Facebook
from
is
the
like
movies
dead.
of the world. It's really weird. I first got on Facebook in 2007. And so I was there for a long time. Never got on MySpace or all that jazz, but it's very small demographic people still actively use it.
Yeah.
Right.
It was good for memes during political seasons for a while, but now it's just nothing. I've been on it for a while, but this does bring
it
up
is
the topic.
good for me.
Right. We're going to talk a little bit about the Sweet Baby Inc. stuff because how it's like infected video games. I'll maybe skip forward a little bit because talking about why I get into social media, and besides, I do like talking about this stuff with people like-minded people, but it's a failure in publishers and trying to get published. And maybe it's because my book sucks. Maybe my content sucks, but it really is. It sucks exposure. Because there's, it feels like, and if you try to go the traditional way, you really get the feeling that, well, they're looking at people's social media following. So it feels like we have kind of like a social credit score, pay to play.
Yeah.
Are you talking about book publishing specifically?
Book publishing specifically. I mean, you could talk about any publishing series, but
that's fair. That's fair.
But personal experience, just a little bit, just trying to get a literary agent before you can go to a publisher, because the publishers won't even talk to you unless you have an agent representing you. And
an extra gatekeeper.
Everything.
You literally have a middleman requirement.
Well, and there's also the whole issue now that they're doing less for published authors than they've ever done in the past. They're expecting more and giving less value than they've ever have in the past in regards to getting published by one of the big five at this point, because they want to have more control. They want to give you a very small cut. They want you to do a lot of the promotion, because they're not going to give the promotion money to a small fish like you. It's going to go to one of their big money-making sellers. It's not going to go to you, unfortunately.
They want easy money. You can't necessarily blame them too much for that, but it's gross when you look, because you have to like go and look up a bunch of different literary agents and then try to like put a like email together to try to cater to who it is. And when you're doing that, you're looking at they all have list of what they're looking for, and 9 out of 10 times you look at it and it's straight white guy, need not apply. Like straight up, they're like looking for people colored.
I've seen it
completely public. They're advertising it, and it's like gross, because then when you start to when you do find those people that don't have that in their bios, you're like, well, are they just not putting it there? And then because you don't know. And
I have personal experience. Because I started following some of these people when I first rejoined Twitter, because shocker, AC wasn't always like super like I'm gonna go indie, because I was indie for like over a decade as a musician, and you get sick of that shit. And like really
bad music experiences too.
And also on top of that, the main recognized path in like first and foremost in writing is typically the literary agent and big five route. You shoot for only the biggest things, because the goal is to just have other people do all of that for you, and you just sit there and write the whole time because you're a writer. But once you expose yourself to a few of those lists and quickly realize that these agents, that is literally all they're looking for, and they are literally an extension of these big like corporatized what's the word, mafias of publishers, essentially. it gets really gross really fast, especially when you look at how they care so much about, like you said, anti-white and then like sexuality, and specifically tying those things to children.
They're more about checking boxes than actually providing a good story to the readership. Now, I think there is a small issue there. The problem is, for the kind of stories that we want to tell, there are people out there telling those stories, and some of them are even published by these people, but they have been there for a long time. They're already established, and they're all in the mind of the publisher. Those kind of stories are already being produced and funded by them. They're like, we don't want more of those stories. We want to tell the stories for the new generation, and what the new generation says they want is
I'm still reading books from the 60s and the 70s and before that.
30s,
it's
20s.
30s, yeah. Old books. It's like, dude, stop. We like the same stuff. It's like we evolve and we don't evolve in some manners. It's like,
for sure.
Like we're always gonna like boobs. Like you're never gonna change that.
Boobs, tremendous, boobs. Large tracts of land.
Like there's no way of like socially conditioning people out of that. That's always going to be there.
At least the appreciation, if not a lot more.
Oh yeah. But then, and like, so you find an agent and you see that he doesn't have the check boxes. He works with some people that have the check boxes on their profile. I'll send it to him, and of course, literary agents, they don't reply back. Like if they don't like it, and they'll tell you, because you do research, and they always say like, hey guys, it could be the title. I could have read the first word of the title and been like, no, they get that right, because apparently they get like hundreds of stuff. I'm like, man, you can't at least just like, hey, I didn't like the title, bye. And I'd be like, okay, at least that's something.
Right. Well, it would be a shame if the title could be changed in a moment. No.
That's the other thing. Yeah. I saw crazy things that were like beyond like checking those boxes, and were like doing oxymoronical, like hypocritical, like weird shit, like, and like, no, we don't want tropes. It's like a genre is literally a collection of tropes. You realize that, right? Like by definition. So you can already tell that entire like spider web of bullshit that company is associated with already is just like charged with putting everything about redefining things. You know what I mean? You can already tell that they're probably going to
tell stories for a modern audience. No, you need to tell stories, good stories. The audience will come for the stories regardless of what era it is.
Yes.
Stories have not changed in their essential nature for thousands of years.
Yes.
Maybe aspects of their telling have changed. Maybe some of the language, some of the methods, some of the aesthetic has definitely changed. But Hercules turned into Superman, turned into all of these different, like modern day All Might. All Might is a great example of a modern Superman. Tremendous character arc. I love that. Like that's
storytelling, like good set of tips.
Yeah. On All Might. No.
On All Might, yeah.
Don't look it up, guys. It does exist.
It's probably there.
For sure.
I was taking a drink when you said that, dude. What the hell? I almost said that.
You should know I'm going to bring up All Might and tits in the same very often, so just be ready.
Yeah. And then to bring it back to Sweet Baby Ink, so I bring it up because it's topical. But I mean, you see the same type of gatekeeping in a different way, a little bit more corporate with the video gaming, but it's not working at all with the gamers. It's working with the books, and it's weird because these people have like infested their way into many types of media, and they've left gaming alone for like too long. And
they tried to force themselves in during the first Gamergate, and that's really when it started, because it was free for a long time until some guy in the back room started looking at the numbers, how much games were making, more than any movie has ever made. They're like, whoa. There are a lot of young people, a lot of kids, a lot of men playing these games. There's a huge market here and a huge sphere of influence that we have not taken over yet. Let's get our fingers on that.
So I want to say real quick, I can't see the comments, so sorry if I'm not reacting, but
there's something not
StreamYard
there.
Yeah, but
I got an eye on it over here. I just got to turn my head, but it's all good.
That's a lot of work, though.
Not really.
What were you
I'll
about to
try,
say,
though.
AC?
yo,
And then
no
they kind of
way.
create this idea of, oh, your stories aren't good enough because of the way we've defined what a good story is, instead of acknowledging basic universal truths. This is what I was going to say on your earlier point. There is only one truth, the truth. The truth is the truth. There's not multiple truths, as in we need to redefine everything as whenever we see a little problem with it for the sake of relevance or power, actually, is what I suspect is the biggest thing. And when I say spider web, I really mean spider web, because like, as you can already tell, you bring up Sweet Baby Inc., you can look at the literary agents, you can look at the big five, you can look at gaming, and you can already
there.
kind of see this
Hollywood,
picture
God
forming.
forbid. Yeah, the whole
Yeah,
It's
and
like
you can
they've
keep
been
going. Yeah.
They set root earlier in books and movies and stuff. Like even with Gamergate 1, how long ago that was, it's like they didn't have their roots in quite like they did with gaming. And we can see that because the gamers don't give a shit. But like, it's almost an easier playing field for those type of tactics to work, because with books, any one person can write a book and then have a friend make a cover or something like that. The barrier to entry to
books
that.
the books have always been a little. It's a little easier to escape the restriction of the ideologues that want to control the narrative of the culture in books, because there's such an individual aspect to storytelling in the confines of authoring a single book.
And then with games, who can make a game with one person? Like, it's possible technically, but it usually requires teams of people.
I'm looking at you, RimWorld, and looking at you, RimWorld, and what's that other one? It's really good. It's like farming.
Farmville.
Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley.
Oh, that okay, slightly different.
Both like one dude.
Is that the What type of game is that? That's not the tabletop RPG, right?
No, it's a video game. They succeeded too. They're probably really wealthy now.
Well, hell, what's that newer game that came out recently? That space
Helldivers
game where you not that.
Among Us.
What is it? It's where you go to these planets and there are monsters. You have to collect loot. What the hell is it called?
Not No Man's Sky, but I think I know what you're talking about.
No, it's a different
Evolution.
It was basically made by like one kid and a couple of his friends, and it's like one of the biggest games among streamers right now.
Yeah, I mean, it happens sometimes, but frequently, like more than not, it's like it requires a team. So if you're gonna get your roots into somewhere and kind of control the narrative, beat evil. If I'm on Team Evil, I'm like, I'd go gaming first, because like once you have control of that, like there's you have maybe one or two people break through, but like with books, I mean, isn't Brandon Sanderson technically indie, and he's ruined books?
He's hybrid, so he has all the support of one of the big five, but he has the kahunas to persevere through and use indie techniques that he's acquired through his continued role as a teacher at his university that he went through. So he constantly sees new generations of people. He gets to teach them and interact them. He sees success stories in indie all across the board, and he is a genius and just learned from all that. And
it's even more than that, because while still being attached to his publisher, he ran an indie project maybe last year, and it was the most successful Kickstarter book project of all time, with tens of millions of dollars sold for 4 secret projects, and he didn't even tell people what they were. That's how good he is, man.
And when you got a contract, what kind of pull does that give you then when you turn around and you stare at your boss, quote unquote, the dude who owns you, and you're like, what now? How much money do you want? Like, cause just throw it in his face. You know what I mean? Like, I just destroyed the entire.
That's the trick. They didn't say he couldn't write.
It's a power play.
Outside, they didn't tell him he couldn't write books that could be they didn't tell him he couldn't self-publish a book. He just had to fulfill his contractual obligation for the number of books. But the problem is, the man's a machine.
Yeah,
he writes faster than almost anyone I know. And plus with writes. It's no brainer, man.
Because what was it, like in a 3-year period? It was something like 3 or 4 years. He wrote like 7 books, And they're not like
including a
short
Stormlight
books.
book. Each Stormlight book is longer than the entirety of Lord of the Rings.
This one's gonna be like 500,000 words, like legit.
Yeah, he's going to set some record like that for sure.
He's already approaching like the most written words of any individual author.
Real quick, before we drift away from Sanderson and back into other things, which I would be curious about what Sanderson really thinks about the interference of culture is what I'll call it, or the interjection of a religious ideology into common truth. But we'll step away from that just for a second, and I can read off some of the chat here. Kahuna, if you have it pulled up, or like whatever.
Yeah,
because next we're gonna do a little bit of toxicity stuff.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. Ooh,
So hail to Immortal Rising Comics and Readout Productions, Evele Music, Daniel P. Riley. Hail. You guys are awesome. B.A. Turner.
Why is Bat Sauce reading Fourth Wing? The short bus veteran. Oh, it's all coming together.
Are you calling me retarded?
Rexillian, hail.
Yo. Mr. B.A. Turner. I still need to read his book. I started it. It's really good.
I'm going as soon as I'm done with the Black Crown. I'm gonna get it.
It's
I'm sure, Bat Sauce, you'll have to tell me what you think of the end of the Black Crown, because I really like the book. I do have some thoughts on the end though, and I have talked to John about that. But I'm curious what you think about the end of that book when it comes around.
Definitely, we could talk about it.
I'll do the same. We'll have like a Black Crown.
Yeah.
The blackest of crowns. We call it an African American.
The biggest crowns. We have the biggest crowns.
The black crowns are larger than the other crowns.
All right, any more to read off? Or
that was it. Well, we could go through individual comments, but we've been going for a little bit, so it would be doing that for a while. Yeah. You guys are all awesome. Thanks for joining us.
Yes,
I really appreciate it, guys.
And for all of you not subscribe. Here, how dare you? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. All right, so I'm sure we're not the first people you've heard this from. Probably seen it on Twitter or somewhere. Likewise, so we have a company trying to start a toxicity rating for games, which just seems like a goal. But
are you a straight white male? Your opinion doesn't matter.
So they're also a consulting company too.
Of course they are. Here's the level of quality service we can provide for you.
Which is like, dude, this is obviously a big, huge grift. They know their victim points is currency, right? So they're just putting this out there. They're probably going to use the hate because it's getting so much hate on Twitter. So they're probably going to use that and be like, hey, look, Twitter hates this. Elon bad.
Basement dwelling milk drinkers, mouth breathing weirdos.
Look at all the bad pale people on this platform and how toxic they are.
These are the exact people you don't want, and it's they're going to get a big paycheck from the companies because they're going to get hired. I mean, literally, I can't get into it, but you can see it. It's more like in many realms they're hiring these consulting companies because they're just dumb businessmen. They're just like, what am I supposed to do? What are the directions say?
Look at Anita Sarkeesian. She has been hired every year consistently since she basically stopped doing her feminist frequency BS. She stopped posting that a long time ago, and she is doing just fine financially.
It's an extra layer on top of like the literary agent type shit. Just another babysitter.
Here's the real question though: is she earning enough to get plastic surgery that can actually make her an attractive woman again, or is she not quite at that threshold yet? I'm just curious.
I think most people would accept relatively human looking, at least. That would be.
Truth be told, I hate most plastic surgery. I think it most makes most people.
I'm right there with you, man.
True.
I'm right there with you.
It's off-putting. That's uncanny valley. Uncanny valley shit.
Andy, never let your wife do it. Never.
No, she doesn't care for that. She's pretty natural. Like one of the things that first attracted me to her was her lack of makeup and still just immense amount of beauty. And
if you find a woman who's beautiful without going through the whole thing, that's a wonderful thing. And Bat Sauce, you're married, right? Too.
Yeah.
Oh, tremendous, man, tremendous. I guess I'll be the.
She hears me talking about her. I gotta stop. I gotta stop, guys. But I'll whisper.
No, honey, no.
So we got Call of Duty with a 78% toxicity. I'm quite disappointed in Call of Duty, honestly.
Yikes! It could have at least pulled 90.
Really,
it could have at least
years
pulled
ago.
90.
Also,
like,
wait. We need to see what is contributing as well.
That's
what's
almost a
stats?
splatty tomato.
What's his game
That's a
stats?
splatty
It's mostly
violence in a game based about killing people with guns. Weird.
Yeah. And a lot of it takes place in like with imperialistic Western countries, like in a setting of like third world countries.
It'd be a shame if Russia was the bad guy in every Call of Duty game.
Serious lack of gender discrimination here.
I know. I want to be fighting some Muslims.
Serious lack.
Also, Eric and Evely are saying the 78%. That's rookie numbers.
I agree, man. You gotta bump those numbers up. Let's go.
Crank it up.
I'd love to 90. I'd love to see how how they're measuring this. I'd love to know.
Yeah,
I'd love to know.
We'll get into that. I believe that we know, and that's why it's just kind of funny that
honest people like us can come in and share our discrimination experiences on these games.
Wait, guys, wait. We need to be like evil, right? So let me. There we go.
Yeah. Oh, let's for the toxicity. Wait, one second.
Galaxy.
There we go. Join me. Join me.
And together we can rule the galaxy as father and son. Isn't that Vader's line? Shut up.
Minecraft, a lot of violence.
In Minecraft, what?
A lot of violence.
What?
How? What?
Like butchering sheep?
Sexual content, less gender
blocks?
Discrimination.
Yeah.
Racism?
Like, it's a lot of threats. Probably a lot of people say I'm going to rape your mom, but...
in Minecraft?
So I'm getting a lot of kids are still playing Minecraft. Good.
Oh, yeah. 76 on Apex. With that diversity, come on, man.
I know.
It's also all like the same numbers, right? So it's kind of interesting. Why are they all so close to 70%? It's like, are these
also I'm noticing less racism than I was expecting. Truth be told, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Yo, you ever play this game Mordhau?
I can't say I have. Yeah.
So it is a medieval simulator. If you know what that is, it's you play a knight and you medieval. Yeah. Play some knights. You know.
Sick.
Yeah, that game was like famous. I think there was even an article when it came out because there was no censorship on the chat, so it's just like N-word, C-word, and just.
The funny thing is I don't know if they realize that like people just say everything. Like they say everything, especially as soon as they realize they have freedom, they're just gonna be like, fuck, you know what I mean?
Here in America specifically, yes. In a place like Japan, like tell them they have freedom, they're like,
silence. Finally,
screw
peace.
your mom, I guess. I don't know.
Yes, finally peace.
So yeah, they would. You had a guy like cosplaying Kanye West essentially in the chat, just like acting like he was Kanye West.
Well, dude,
it was great.
That's hilarious. I'm sorry.
I say,
the dude's rich. I don't give a fuck.
People said necromancer and cancer. Man, that's upsetting.
I'm assuming this is probably what's on the screen now. This honestly is probably the only way that they're actually getting their numbers from their own survey. Like I said, this is like they're doing bare minimal work. They're like they put up a little survey, had somebody create it for
half
fucking
the people have to just be playing around, right? Just like we're doing right now.
Yeah,
yeah.
And so they just have this is just a site for them to show the businessmen to be like, oh my God, it's interactive and you know whatnot.
But it's not actually a study. It has no regulation or anything. It's all on X, as you said, right? It's all like just on X. Like, what is that? Like any scientist would be like, well, you need some sort of control or something.
No. How about just random people off with an anonymous survey on the internet? Surely that can't be fabricated
and when it comes from it's
this thing about quantifying. When you're big like organizations, they're obsessed with quantifying. And in my new book, there's a whole chapter on quantifying. It's something I fucking hate that word.
If you say quantifying one more time, I'm going to go cross-eyed for the rest of this.
Hunting. So essentially they're obsessed with just seeing numbers and whatever they mean. They don't actually like care about what that number means, because working in IT, you always want to hear like we need a lot of tickets done. We're like, okay, So if we get a big number of tickets, you'll be happy. And they're like, essentially, yeah, that's going to make us look good. I'm like, okay, cool. I can create 10 accounts in 10 minutes, and that's 10 tickets. That requires no work. Or I can try to fix somebody's computer that blew up and like recover data or something like that. And that takes like maybe a couple days or whatever, depending on it. And you're like,
100%. That's
one ticket. Well, by quantifying it, I'm doing worse. And but it doesn't matter. They don't look at things like that. Like they're just like, and you'll have like some IT places where it's just literally they just make as many tickets as they can, and the people that are doing best are usually just making like 10 tickets out of like one issue, and it's quantifying. So
they're like, I remember when I was younger and I finally discovered, oh, maybe the internet is full of shit. It took me longer than most because I wasn't on the internet when I was really, really young. But I was at some point I'm like, oh, everybody's lying. I have to wade through this slightly differently than the blind dive that I was doing.
Yeah. Evlay wants to know my profile picture. This is. I'm gonna stop sharing real quick. So this is Royce trying to seduce people to the dark side, as he usually is doing all the time. Sick.
At least
Disgusting.
the
I also
more
saw
colorful side for sure.
I saw him doing the same thing for the furry conventions he frequents at.
Yes, obviously, and it works out because it's already the size of some animals, being only 5'4". You know.
Yeah, the Scientology one was great.
Yeah, I mean, I met him in person. He
said, "Do you guys want superpowers? Well, if you pay enough, you can skip the line. Just come with me.
Just come with me,
guys. It's only 90s gay.
Alien.
Shut up."
All right, let's take this damn survey. So, what game?
90s gay is different.
What game are we gonna rate? We're gonna rate their toxicity level. All right. So, what you see on the screen, that's our only choices right now. What do you guys want to rate?
Okay. So, should we have?
Let's do Halo.
Should we? Oh man, I kind of want to do one with the chat in some way too, if possible. Are we able to do a poll in the chat?
Ooh, I don't know how to do that.
I don't know how to.
we don't have
we don't even have access
just...
to the comments from here. So
how about this?
Going on.
First one to. We'll count the first vote that pops up or whatever. We'll look at like the general amount in the chat. Me and Kahuna will monitor the chat. But you guys can vote.
Veto toxic?
Am I veto toxic?
I don't know what that means.
Like veto. I'm assuming veto Giswaldi. No. What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure. What
it's not veto as in VE. It's VITO. I'm not sure.
Yeah. The freaking I forgot his name or his show, but he's a fat guy making a super killer comic. Anyway.
What do you guys think? Should we do Call of Duty, Fortnite, Minecraft, Apex Legends,
what game,
Valorant,
guys?
Animal Crossing, New Horizons, Rocket League, Destiny 2, Halo Infinite, or GTA Online?
Let's see. My vote is. I mean.
Animal Crossing. I want
I
want to say they're the most racist, discriminatory.
So, okay.
Yes, they were sexual. Of course.
They were.
Very sexual.
Very sexual.
Extremely sexual.
I
felt violated just watching it.
All right. Controlled substances. Is there drug dealing in Animal Crossing? I've never played it.
You can exchange things, and kind of.
No, hear me out. You can eat food, and food releases dopamine in your brain, which is a drug. So therefore, you can have a euphoric effect from.
That sounds very extreme, radical.
Very.
Let's be a little bit realistic on this, right? Let's
bring it back.
You know when you fill out those surveys,
I mean,
that they make you do, and you're just like, all right, let me change one or two. Just.
Nope, it was extremely sexual. Yeah, you got the wrong way.
Yeah, sorry, I hit the previous one.
Crude humor. No, it was all very, very based humor. No.
There's no based option though. Yeah, so we're unsure.
How unsure am I about the?
I'm extremely unsure.
I'm extremely unsure.
I'm extremely unsure about it.
Racism, yes. Tremendous.
Yes,
racism.
Of course,
dude. They're all different races. The animals? Are you kidding me?
Wait. Is it all?
Why wouldn't they all just be the same race and gender?
Oh, I specifically. Sorry, what was that? Anytime you have any like character you could design, you make them a little bit darker skin, you have them farming, absolutely automatically racist.
I would say gamer names. Let's come up with some good racist gamer names.
Where do we expand this? I'm gonna say we experience it.
Oh, all of them. Yeah.
Gamer names? What?
Dr. Boobalicious was very aggressive.
It's not really racist though.
It can be.
Tell me how that is.
Dr. Booblish. Perfect. It's perfect. Dark Dong 69 was also very discriminatory. Oh my god, bro. What is this?
What is it? They told me I can't do anything but farm because I'm Mexican.
They told me to get to work, cracker.
Bad things.
Sweet, perfect.
Yeah. Dr. Booblish, Dark Dong.
Dark Dong 69.
Violence indicates. Please indicate if interactive user generated aspects of this game included descriptions of
I would say I'd be unsure of the violence in Animal Crossing.
Can you describe how unsure you are?
Did you experience violence and racism together? Yes, 100%.
As stated before, they're all different races of animals.
The black bears were really discriminatory against
against the white dogs.
Oh. Yo, those chocolate labs, he running this hook.
What other animals are there on there? I forgot, man. There's like
I've never played it. I have no idea.
Who's the mayor? What animal is he? Oh yeah, he's like a raccoon. Mention raccoons. Something about raccoons.
A raccoon runs the animal kingdom. Bullshit.
Wait, called me
my
Mexican.
White dog, and I wasn't even reading what you did. They whipped me to the farms. They threw my white dog in the river and called me a Mexican.
Damn, dude.
Because I kept stabbing. That's
amazing.
YouTube, if you're watching this is all in Minecraft, by the way. This is fun.
Yes.
This is for
that's Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
How do you spell Puerto Rican?
Spell it wrong on purpose. It won't matter.
Actually.
Yeah,
right.
Puerto Rican.
Oh my god. Spell it wrong on purpose.
Rican. Porto Rican. My favorite. Gender discrimination.
All right, gender discrimination indicates. We definitely had gender discrimination.
For sure.
Where did you experience gender?
Probably in the chat.
All of it,
for sure.
All of it. I observed it too. It's horrible. I have Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yes, for sure.
I have nightmares. Did you observe together all the time? When is it not used together? It's a better question.
I'm glad that we're contributing something to the community here.
I often question that, like day to day, is like, am I contributing to society enough? And I feel like now I could really contribute to society. Guys, look up the Toxicity survey and please take part, do your job, and help society.
Report the terrible
we're doing our part.
In these
we're doing our part.
Communities. I would love to see like a bunch of people start playing Animal Crossing now.
Would you like to know more?
That's my secret, Cap. It's always been racist.
It's always been racist. It's always been racist. Always has been.
Oh yeah, the astronaut.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's the blending of two memes right there.
I do love people when they're like, America's the most racist country in history. Like,
whatever.
One of the first cultures in human history to outlaw slavery. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
One
you're
of the
right.
most racist countries in history.
Yeah.
So I tried to drive a car, but I kept crashing. I'm a woman. It should prevent me from crashing. Please make that an option in the game.
Or is it?
Too late.
I was gonna say. Or is
I signed up on this.
Or is it because I'm Chinese? I don't know.
I condone this. This is great.
All right. Oof.
What is your?
Okay. What's our gender?
I know.
Why wasn't that asked first?
Other toucan sexual. Sexual.
Toucan sexual. Yeah.
Yes. I sexually identify as
no. One word. Toucan. You gotta do it proper. Proper representation. All one word. Toucan sexual. There you go.
Here we go. I got another one. Because I should be able to add multiple genders. That's only fair.
You're right. I'm actually multiple genders.
Absolutely, 100%. Fourth wing sexual.
Dude, you're breaking me right now.
Bro, I have to clip this later for that video.
I'm a fifth level fourth wing sexual.
Fifth level, yeah.
Fourth wings.
Oh my lord.
All right,
Also, prefer not to say. Has to be prefer not to say.
Well, I can't. I mean, I can choose my age. So
I identify as someone much older.
where are we from?
I feel old. What's the Germany, least controversial country in history.
Well, I said I'm Puerto Rican. I'm Puerto Rican from Germany.
Of course, that's where all the Puerto Ricans come from, right?
All right. Oh,
vegan or Herman offered vegan sexual.
Vegan sexual.
I would agree, except it's impossible to be a sexual vegan. There's nothing sexy about saying that meat is not on the menu.
I got you, Herman.
Oh, I guess if we can do everything, why not? You look old. F you, Herman. Look old. Is it the red light or the bags under my eyes, you sack of shit?
It's a vegan anti-sexual.
Dude, the anti-sexual.
Oh, bro. It's killing me. And fourth wing sexual. Will be added to some wiki somewhere.
You know what the thing is? Like, they're not reading this. Like, they're not working. This is 100% a grift. They're going to just add it to the stats because they're just going to take it as another person who took the survey. Yeah, so am I helping out their terrible grift? Yes, but funny. I mean, they're going to get their grift either way.
For sure.
Probably having bots do this as well.
Hey, cheers, Evely. Keep on calling him the wrong name.
Do you guys want us to rate more games? Or do you guys want us to move on? Because we can move on.
Probably should move on. Yeah. We could always come back later if we want.
Dude, still let us know in the chat what you think of like a little mini game every now and then.
Yeah. Hey guys, we're trying to figure out the show. You know, this isn't. We're all very
We've
small
gone
YouTubers
off the
trying to figure our way.
Of in the iron seas. We've gone into the foggy land of indie. The
Iron Seas is vast,
as you can see.
So vast.
Yeah.
Both sides.
But yeah, no. Also, maybe not today, but somewhere down the line, it'd be fun to get permission and read like a single Substack story, like short story of somebody's on.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that. Yeah, definitely want to do that.
I'm down.
Guys, if you're listening, we're down to start doing guests as well. Just keep in mind, this show, if we do have a guest, it's not going to be like 100% contributed to the guest, but we'll like leave like 10, 20 minutes or 30 minutes or so.
Probably about 20 minutes. Any longer,
20 minutes, I think. Yeah,
uncomfortable usually.
Yeah. So we'll leave a little segment for you guys to talk about yourself, advertise your stuff. But the show is going to be we're having fun and we're talking about some relevant media type stuff and so also very sometimes just generic indie stuff that a little bit more timeless, right?
Yeah. I have a question. I have a question for you too. Is there an old franchise that has been worked on recently that has not been ruined by the recent efforts? I can think of maybe one, and that's even questionable itself.
Well, it was Avatar ruined by the live action? I don't think so.
Well, like I still love, despite the new movies, I still love Star Wars. I love the old movies. Like that love will never change.
But it killed the universe. It killed the universe, though.
It did.
So that's the problem. Whereas in the Avatar universe,
I don't think it's had enough time.
Korra was pretty bad. I mean, it wasn't like the worst,
that
but
were better than the OG series. Some things.
Well, the action
were a lot better. The action was very.
I disagree with that. I disagree with the villains being better. Do we get into this now?
Oh. Are we gonna fight about Korra? No way! Get Royce in here.
Yeah. We could have the great Avatar debate.
I am he who knows 10,000 things about Avatar and Korra.
All right, Royce, get the fuck in here, Royce. We're fighting, all right?
There you go.
Says,
what do you think, Royce?
Lord of the Rings. I need that tremendous 5'4" Royce energy.
I can't hear you. I'm only 5'4".
My wife can beat me up. She like the Catholic boys.
You heard him. He's only 5'4", so.
Remember, guys, Royce is only 5. Everybody, you must post Royce is 5'4". That's the secret.
In the Gilded, just mash it down there. It's not a conspiracy. It's fact. Man, I had technical issues. I can't do my voice mod thing.
Joe, what I'll say,
What?
I adore Avatar, the first show. I love it.
Yeah.
It is, and I far prefer. It's
some,
not even close.
Some would say it's a perfect show.
And I wouldn't argue with them. I'd say FMA Brotherhood is also a perfect show.
I was going to say
that is my favorite anime of all time, despite it being. Yeah, you and I talked about this. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
We don't need to fight about that. We can fight about whether the villains from Legend of Korra at least stack up or are better than some of the original villains from Avatar. I think
you could argue stack up, but better.
I think Zahir is one of the best villains in any kids TV show ever.
The airbending one?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. I remember the names.
Season 3 Legend of Korra with the leader of the Red Lotus. Yes, him.
Yeah, but like I think everything they did was just too world breaking, and I don't like the way he twisted the airbender logic was kind of a little retarded.
Quick question. Let me interject quick.
Go ahead.
Sure.
So can you acknowledge a well-written villain in a world-breaking vandalistic recreation like Korra? Because it's kind of like, well, it's a continuation, I should say. Continuation. You said you have problems with the world breaking stuff.
There are problems with Korra. I don't think Zahir and the Red Lotus were among them. I think they were. I thought that was it's the only.
Let's talk about lava bending real quick, though.
Lava bending.
We can talk about it.
Lava bending is one of those things
different about it.
I like and I don't like, and I mostly don't like it because it was just It was just absolutely broken.
Interesting.
Well, it's so rare. It's even rarer than metal bending, but it also it functions very differently.
It's supposed to be.
Why?
Metal building is about taking the firm stance and becoming even more pointed than regular earth bending.
They ruined metal. They ruined metal bending in Korra.
Oh,
there was rules.
I don't like everything they did.
There was rules in the OG, and that was like you had to use the. What's her name? The blind one. I'm brain farting.
Toph.
Toph. She, basically, because she used the sensory stuff, she was able to pick up the metal and be able to bend it. So there's an assumption, and more than just an assumption, that you had to use that ability, which Aang also learned from Toph, in order to do the metal bending. So if you can't touch the earth, you can't metal bend. And yet in Korra,
I think she was able to unlock basically it's like everything seems impossible until someone does it, and then a lot more people think about flying. Think about flying. The Wright brothers, everyone said it could not be done. They started it, and then eventually it became easier.
Think about what? Think about what? What'd you say?
Oh, flying. The Wright brothers.
Flying?
Until they did it, everyone said this cannot be done. This is a myth. This is impossible. They did it. Now it doesn't get great for a while, but eventually it becomes more accessible, more possible because people have a blueprint that's standing on the shoulders of giants, kind of.
Well, that's fine. Did they have an explanation for it though? They didn't. They glanced over that. They were just like, just accept it.
Well, they kind of did because they said that not everybody could do it. Still, at this point, even now, not everybody can metal bend. So not every firebender can lightning bend either.
But, okay, so two things.
Exactly, it's supposed to be a rarity. Yeah, like extreme rarity. Yeah,
the airbending flying was cool, right? Like I can accept that change.
Yes.
But when it comes to the metal bending specifically, it like almost became inherited. Like you can you're inherited the ability to metal bend. When no, that's not the case. Toph, through extreme training, learned how to metal bend. And then you take the same logic to the lightning bending. Why the fuck can everybody lightning bend? Zuko didn't learn how to lightning bend in the OG.
Right. It was just
I have an explanation for that.
And he tried to learn. He tried to learn.
He did. I don't know if he could when he was older. They never really go into that. So, but because maybe he was more balanced in his spirit when he was older, but maybe he never learned.
Maybe
part of it was that the lightning bending was kept to the upper crust military and royal families within the fire. So, they didn't teach everybody how to do it, and I don't think everybody could. But
that checks out with Iroh and And
Well,
the
it checks
daughter.
out because you had to either be balanced like Iroh, or you had to be crazy like Sula. Now the main character
Well,
can't remember his name because nobody gives a shit about the Korra people. who was the lightning bender, firebender, and Mako? Okay.
See, I think I remember
how
the show
could he
more
lightning
fondly
bend?
than you do.
Well, I enjoyed it, but
like I said, by then it wasn't the teaching of that technique was not restricted
did he
to the upper class.
Did he show any ability, like any reasoning of being balanced or being crazy?
Because remember in season 1 they described him when he was pro bending as cool under fire kind of attitude. He was able to think clearly even in a dire stressful situation and keep his cool.
What about the gang member in the first episode? It's just everybody who could firebend could also lightning bend. Like it wasn't rare.
The gang member couldn't. The gang leader could. That's what I.
He wasn't like a gang leader though, was he? I think he's just
the guy who had his bending taken away by Amon in season 1. He could lightning bend, but he was the leader of that gang. And you would think, upper crust leader guy has to be in charge of a whole bunch of people, has to be controlled enough to be able to manage a large group of freaking criminals. He could do that.
You're writing for the story.
I am.
Gotcha.
So
I have a lot of problems with Korra, but I still do think it has some strong points.
Well, I think that's what happens is you go in with a lot of good faith, and this happened with Star Wars. People went in with the good, people looked when they first saw Force Awakens. Everybody's like, "Yo, this movie's this bangs. This is good. Star Wars is good." But then you look back and you're like, "Dude, Force Awakens was just as bad as the other three. It's just as bad." Maybe even worse.
If the next 2 movies had been good, we would look back at Force Awakens much more fondly than we do.
Oh, 100%. But when you look at it with a critical, unbiased eye, because without that good faith that Star Wars has lost, because it lost some people, but Last Jedi was just so bad that made everybody lose their good faith for anything coming forward. But no, back to
people who agree with me now still had faith after The Last Jedi. I'm like, how?
I did.
No way.
I did because I think any writer should be able to I'm telling you, I could have read a story and you've been like, holy shit, that's actually good. Because look,
for Star Wars?
You still have the Star Wars universe, right? So you could by yourself, you could write any movie that's good and be good and standalone. You could take shit characters and make them good in one story. And people who say otherwise are just there's those talented writers. If you put Brandon Sanderson in to write the last movie, it would have been good. And
probably
when you pay the amount of money that
a lot to bring me back though after
but it's
you can't
something like Sanderson.
You can't undo all of the damage.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be a challenge. It would be an impossible challenge, but it's there. I mean, first, Kylo Ren wasn't completely ruined. They could have made him they could have worked and spent the first 15 minutes.
Completely ruined. They even had some good ideas, and I one thing I can praise about The Last Jedi, the movie that I despise with every fiber of my being.
Yeah,
it was a very pretty looking film.
Yeah.
Color choices, the light choices.
You can see
a lot of that was really their almonds were activated for some stuff. Hold on, I have to read this comment by Evely because it's throwing me off. I teach kids guitar from time to time. It warms my heart and warms my balls and tickles my heart when kids want to learn Aces High, which happens about once a year.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Also, you all hear the rebooting Big Trouble in Little China?
Oh.
JK, day late, April Fools. He says.
So Kylo Ren, he did suck because he was written suck, but he was also played by an awesome actor.
True. Adam Driver's the shit.
Adam Driver's he's such a good actor.
He's
just
fine.
Watch anything else he's in.
Guys, he's fine. I've seen others. He's fine.
Marriage Story? You see Marriage Story?
Yeah.
I heard that was great.
He's fine. I don't have anything. I don't dislike him, but I don't have any affinity for him either.
I got a little bit more favoritism because he was a Marine too.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's cool.
He's
a veteran.
Yeah.
Saw him smoking a crayon in a movie once. I was like, "That's my boy."
That's my boy.
But no, I mean, back to Katara or Korra. Fucking shit.
Oh yes, Korra.
He doesn't even know who's in what, so he's fake news.
I will say, I will say that before we get back to Korra, my only experiences with the Last Airbender 1 with Aang, those 3 books. And all I know is that the storytelling is so good, and good in the since like a lot of stories are subjective. You could have like a 1-sentence story that's just a banger. But like, I digress. It's so, I guess, universally accepted that there's a lot of people that literally teach a lot of the storytelling devices that they're doing in there. Here's an example of a good redemption arc. Here's a good villain. Here's a good mentor, Iroh. You know what I mean? Just look at every aspect, and they're all clear-cut, great examples. And we didn't realize in the time when Avatar was coming out what kind of a anomaly it was going to be. And I think all they did was kind of check the boxes back then, which was write a good story, which happened to be universal truths like the hero's journey and stuff like that. And circling that idea back to the agents, I have seen people talking about how they specifically say no hero's journey and stuff like that. They're literally throwing away things that we've learned and come to know to be true, universal truths over
it's a guideline
centuries.
One friend of mine, she was trying to query a particular set of stories to some agents a couple years ago, and they were telling her, we want some villain stories. That's what.
Dude. Okay, let's talk about the
3 or 4
the gray villain shit, right? Like every villain needs to be gray, and it's like they found out
every villain can't. No one can just be a dick. No one.
Right, and look, I like a good gray villain, right? Morally gray.
Gray 'em up.
It's like they saw a few stories do it right back in the day, and it's like Hollywood always takes the wrong lesson, and they're like, oh, morally gray villain equals better, and now they're pushing it even farther, because now it's not even just they're morally gray; it's that the system made them the way they are, and they actually are not bad people.
It always morphs into a rebellion arc.
No, well, that brings up an essential difference in I think all of our philosophies and theirs, which is that, like, they see someone who is this evil adult who does these bad things, and they're like, well, they were ruined by what happened when they were grown. I'm like, at some point, it's up to you to become the better person. It's at some point you can no longer blame what happened when you were young.
It's a victim mentality.
Accountability. You got to clean your room. You gotta look inward, and you gotta recognize the strengths and the roles of your masculinity.
Talk to the shadow and really
you gotta take accountability for your actions.
This is not
the villains are
only
victims,
when we take accountability for our actions.
All right, so
it's accountability, though, for sure.
Yeah. No, it's look, the conspiracy theories that they're trying to push the fact that there's what'd you just say? I brain fart super hard sometimes.
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, what'd you just say?
Accountability.
Yeah, they're trying to like take away people's agency in accountability, and that's what they're trying to like get people to think or understand. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. Think about this: injustice. Okay, right? If you feel like you can do something violent for the sake of an idea like injustice, and let's just, for this hypothetical situation, say that you happen to be misguided. This is an untruth that you feel. This is not an injustice, but you feel like it is.
Oh, he's talking about the concept of injustice. I thought you were talking about the comic storyline of injustice.
No. The concept. Then I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Injustice.
That's all good.
Injustice.
And what were we talking about before that? Sorry.
Penis.
Yeah, penis.
Well, sometimes you mention something else, and then it'll come back up.
Accountability. Yeah. Okay, accountability. Yeah. Injustice. Let's say you decide to do something violent about this injustice that you're misguided about. You can then not take accountability for it and just blame the injustice. Like, it's the injustice that did it. I had to do it. I had to like throw the paint on the cultural iconic painting, or I had to behead the statue, like Bart Simpson out of The Simpsons or some shit. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So and then you don't have accountability.
And it's like an inability to storytell, right? And where it's like you could use some of those aspects where it's like, yeah, we we understand how he became a villain, but there has to be the acknowledgement that morally he is wrong and he is the villain. And that's where they're changing and they're losing people, because it's like, okay, we have the thing that made him the villain, and it might not make you a villain, and that's the difference between you and that villain, but they're acting like they're not morally wrong for becoming a villain because of the injustice that happened to them. And that's where it becomes bad.
They do one of two things. Either because of what happened in their past and because of their oppressed nature, their victimhood, they are not responsible for how they are. In fact, they aren't even evil because of what happened to them. Or they're an irredeemable monster. Even it depends. Honestly, I hate to say it, in the modern day, it depends on the ethnicity and the gender of who the antagonist is. But there are ways to do it.
Yeah.
Let's go back to one of our favorite stories, FMA Brotherhood. Look at Scar. He was a great example of someone doing bad things for a justifiable reason.
Really bad things.
He undergoes transformation. He takes the old and the new and truly creates something new. And it's a beautiful story arc. And that's just one character. There are other characters in that show
redeemed villain,
the exact same thing. Like look, Roy Mustang. He was basically like a member of the non-German army and used his flame alchemy that he stole and used against his master's wishes for evil.
Bro. And also, let's be real, Uncle Iroh. Already redeemed.
Oh, yeah.
We don't see his
conquest lord.
We understand
He was a freaking Khan. He was a Khan. A Fire Lord Khan, basically. You know, like.
But we also don't know that he's redeemed in the beginning,
Iroh?
kind of.
Yeah,
Iroh?
well, right.
Yeah.
Right.
The
He's just kind of like
the fruit of his choices in his life and his temperament are so different. We know. I don't know if whether he's redeemed or not. That's a philosophical question. Whether he has become a different person, that's not in question. He has transformed.
100%. 100%. So now let's change the topic. Unless you have something else you're gonna say.
Evely Music Kahuna with his crab claw right now. You talking about my surfboard?
Yeah, it's a crab claw, bro.
Also, Evely has not seen FMA Brotherhood. Roy Mustang, is that a real guy?
Look,
you have to watch it, Evely.
It is. You got to watch
it. He might be trolling, right? But no, I mean, like FMA is like one of those things where like it gets suggested to a lot of people, and they just hear it suggested over and over again, and they almost are like, I feel like it's going to be disappointing. It 100% can. And then now that we're on the topic, I want to bring up this symbolism. I already told you, AC, but like
symbolism?
One of the most obvious in FMA, like there's so much, right? One of the most obvious things that like a lot of people miss. Do you know what Edward, Alphonse, and their dad? Do you know what they represent? Don't answer, AC.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Yep. Yeah, I never had that point out.
The mangaka, the woman who wrote that, she was a genius. Also, how does a woman understand how to write brothers as well as she does?
Because she's human.
I don't understand it, dude. It's insane.
So, but like that was like something I came to a conclusion a couple of years ago, but like I read it like 10 years prior, or watched it, and I was like, it was so obvious. But it's those little slight things I love. Dude, so she has another manga that's currently out. I've been reading. It has a lot of chapters.
Yeah, new one, right?
No, it's already out.
I need to read it.
Terrible name.
Oh no!
And it's also not as good as
Japanese sometimes do that.
Well, it's not that bad. It's just super generic. It's Demons of the Underworld. I want to say
that's like generic
or Shadows
in
the Shadow World. Yeah.
AC, can't hear you, brother.
I mean, you can just search her and you'll find it. It's good though. It's good. It's entertaining. But it's not just the level of FMA. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, bro! Like the
better book right here though. Just shit.
you know the problem with this show and this manga, we could do an entire show just on that.
100%, and that's why I'm gonna say we'll change the subject to what we were supposed to talk about.
Also, real quick, Evely offered up his own guesses about what they represented in the story: wind, water, tobacco, rock, metal, and pilsners.
I like his guesses.
That's good guesses. Yeah. Yeah. No, because I always like to say, because sometimes people are like, "Oh, I never thought about that." I'm like, "No, right? It's so simple." But yeah, let's talk about conservative media. Let's talk about Dailywire, right? And the reason I want to talk about, well, we're going to talk about Candace Owens, and no, I'm just kidding. We're not talking about that whole spiel.
I don't even like. I've kind of stayed away from her news, so but we can talk.
I don't really care about it. Is whatever the conservatives are fighting, but really just talking about their attempt to impact the culture, and that's what I mean to talk about.
And
with their movies. Yeah, because this is a storytelling podcast, so all storytelling.
Since we're all authors,
right? And from what I know, is they made this big push to go into culture with these movies and trying to compete with other streaming services, which they don't have the money to try to keep up with. Like, first of all, their backlog.
They don't have enough of a backlog.
The backlog is just
making
podcasts.
The same mistakes.
Like, yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's a whole nother point. But like, they don't have a backlog. Their backlog is their YouTube, which nobody gives shit about. Like, Disney,
if you like somebody in the Daily Wire, you're probably watching them individually. Like, I like Jordan Peterson. I watch his own stuff. I don't have to go to the Daily Wire for that. Sorry.
That debate with Destiny was lit.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a great debate. Destiny's a weird guy, a little bit.
You can learn a lot watching that.
I watch Destiny sometimes. I know who disagree with them a lot politically, but
proximity to other streamers that I do watch.
Here's my takeaway on Destiny. The big D. Okay. I give you all the respect in the world, brother. If you ever are listening to this, I give you all the benefit of the doubt and the respect in the world for being the only person on that side. And this is a centrist point of view. The only person on that side willing to go into enemy territory, so to speak, and say some stuff and try. You're giving it a shot, and I'll give you all the respect in the world for that. Yeah.
No one can say that he was just a nothing burger who didn't think things through. He did think things through. I just don't agree with all of his conclusions.
He's a smart person, and he's really good at debating. And I don't know if he's on crack or just
he's trying to win points though instead of discuss the truth.
He is, but like you see him argue with a lot of conservatives and prominent conservatives that do a lot of debates. And
hail the time of reckoning. He'll crush them sometimes. Around for a while, brother. See you tomorrow.
Yo. Yeah, I just reviewed his comic very recently. It's pretty baller. Yeah, the third one comes out in like 5 days or so. So definitely pick that up. It was good.
Shout out.
It's good. A buddy of mine, especially UAC, man. It like a government conspiracy type ish. Like
I know about a lot of that due to proximity to my mother, because her problem is she believes all conspiracy, like every single one.
That is a problem.
Some of these can be true, all of these cannot be true.
Yeah,
at once.
Well, the government's extremely incompetent, which is the biggest hole in a lot of conspiracies that I find.
Yeah. So like you can't even get people to agree. Like 5 people who work in different businesses to agree in a room.
Yeah.
Do you think there's these thousands of people pulling the strings, all coordinated, not fighting together beyond? It's just not. I don't see it.
Totally agree. Back on topic. Sorry. No, that was all of us. It was a group effort there. So they went in there with no backlog. They had what movies did they have? They had that run, hide, fight, or something like that. That looked interesting. Oh yeah, truth. Oh yeah.
I'm glad it's only my chest up.
So
fighting movie.
They had that movie which looked interesting, and then they had the one Gina Carano movie.
Gina Carano films, yeah. One of them looked okay. The other one was just a nothing burger.
They just looked like, hey, watch this movie because it has Gina Carano in it. You support Gina Carano, right? And it zero interest.
You need more than that. You need something real, not just. You need something more than F the system. You need more than that.
It's like their chocolate, right? And that it feels like that's how they run all of their type of businesses. Is like they're like, Hershey's just insulted conservatives. Let's make a chocolate and we'll sell it to conservatives and grift off that. And it's like, no, just make a chocolate if you want to make chocolate. Don't just fucking make the conservative alternative to everything. Like,
right. So
stop.
At least Jeremy at the Quartering just made good coffee.
Yeah.
He doesn't make coffee. He goes through a third party like they all do.
Right. But like he tries to. I don't know. He tries to. I mean, he wants his business to grow. I'll say that.
Well, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with like he's just using that as like his merch, right? Like essentially, it's not
why
like
not? Why not?
If you support me, support. This is a way to support me, right?
Yeah, but the says all the Dailywire movies sucked. I saw all of them except for the Western with Gina. But he's seen all the others, and he said
that's what I hear. And it's because they're just focused on just getting the content out there. I don't even know. No, it's just
they're putting message before story.
Yeah,
which is what like AC, you and I have talked about this for hours, but that's the main problem with the mainstream media. They're putting message before story,
right?
Almost every time in every movie.
Well, propaganda arguably is not art, right?
Right. It can be well done.
I think you could have clever messaging hidden in movies for sure.
Right.
And even good movies, but I
mean,
but then there's a line when it becomes just straight up propaganda.
Right.
I think.
Right. I think when we define propaganda, we mean the extreme, harmful, manipulative. When you're in that red line zone, right?
Well,
that's what you're talking about. Because
before it was a little bit up to interpretation when we were younger, but now it's so blatant. It's not clever. It's not hidden.
Yeah.
It's just in your face.
Well, I mean, there were some like left wing messages in a lot of those stuff that we really liked, but it was just a few like messages here and there, and also they were not like right, but they were also not like super spicy like messages either. But the thing is, the stories were just really good, and you don't care. Like,
the product was still viable without that. That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys, can you think of one off the top of your head that was like obviously like left wing, but you still a banger? Star Trek.
All the Star Trek.
It's all about diversity, equality. Yeah, dude, it's all there.
Now, I am saying that from a Star Trek disliker point of view, but a lot of people liked it, and it was definitely left wing messaging, especially the early stuff.
Interesting.
In my opinion.
Interesting.
It's like, you know when the kind of tripped my brain out for a while when I started getting older, I was like, Robin Hood, all the Robin Hood stories. It took me a minute.
Robin Hood's not left wing, brah.
I know he's not, but it tripped me up for a little bit when I was younger because I was trying to figure it out in my head. I'm like, well, he's stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. What's the difference?
He's not stealing from the rich. That is left wing propaganda.
He's stealing propaganda. See, that's where it goes.
He's stealing the tax money back from the government and giving it back to the people who pay the taxes.
I know.
He was not stealing from the rich.
Think about the phrase that people used.
I know, but that's not the content.
Co-opted.
That's the propaganda. That's the psyop. Yeah, that's gaslighting. Like that's like they try to like the same thing that they try to do with X-Men, being like X-Men was always about race. And like, no, fuck, it wasn't.
Right.
I love that line from Teen Titans. Like Starfire was feeling insecure and discriminated against, and she looks over at Cyborg. She's like, "Do you know what it's like to be treated differently just for the way you look?" He's like, "Yeah, of course I do. I'm a robot." I'm like, yes.
Right.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Of course I do. I'm a robot. I got another one for you. I got another one. Star Wars. Think about it.
What do you mean?
There's a whole bunch of diverse. There's a whole bunch of diverse races.
So here's the thing: diversity's not left wing.
No, and I'm thinking about
especially when it's aliens too.
Hold on. You look at George Lucas's history and relationship with Steven Spielberg and like kind of what they were into at the time. They're left-leaning hippies, and furthermore, they're old school. They're old school liberal is what I'm getting at. And when you get at the heart of their stories, think about it. There's rebellion. It's about a rebellion against a tyrannical empire.
America was built as a rebellion, man. That's not.
I'm not saying America. I'm just saying general communistic, but not quite communistic yet, because he's still American.
No, that's not a. So that's where it's like. So it is.
The empire was born out of a Senate, like a basically kind of what America was. But it was born. Yeah, it was a transfiguration from a representative republic into the Galactic Empire, which is,
Empire.
I think, kind of the fear of George Lucas after witnessing the like the Patriot Act and the Bush stuff.
I
that all
believe
led
it.
up into
True.
the,
I'll take that. I'll take that. Yeah. But I'm just saying,
I'm just saying a little
rebellion
left-leaning.
against a
It's there.
tyrannical
Yeah.
government is not. It's neither side. That is a
You're right.
centrist.
Because we should all be aware of it. Like, think of the Second Amendment. It's there for partially for tyrannical governments. So I won't say that's entirely a left-leaning thing. But
Well, that's what I'm
when we
saying.
look at the left-leaning meme that is in storytelling, it's prevailing in everything. It's in storytelling is the rebellion arc. It's
That's-
like.
That's
you need to be-
the current issue, right? And
Yeah.
that's where it's
Yeah.
like current day politics because they're relating it to current day politics instead of something that's politics in a story that's not like to be like specific messaging about
it's
current
all
politics.
allegorical.
Yeah,
That's
and that's
all.
like the really annoying thing when you're like, "Hey, keep politics out of storytelling," and people are like, "There's always been politics in storytelling," and we're like, "Yes,
Not
but like
this.
not
Not
yeah,
like
not
this.
current day."
or it's just a propaganda war. Let's be fucking real.
Also,
It's a
real quick, just
propaganda
because
war.
I'm watching the chat, Animated Moon has joined us, and he and Evely are shooting the shit in the chat. But he brought up
Right.
another one. He says
Yeah.
Metropolis is technically inspired by the socialist rise in Germany happening in the early turn of the century. Still my favorite movie. I can't say
Yeah.
I've seen Metropolis. Have you guys seen it?
I know it's a
missed it.
classic, but it's like on my list.
I think he and I
Probably
have even
won't get
talked
to,
about it.
but-
I still have yet to watch it.
I hear it's really. Wait, is that the anime? The Metropolis? Isn't there Metropolis anime?
Animated Moon is Metropolis? Is that live action or animated? They're talking about special effects.
I think there's.
So it might
I think
be-
there's two.
there might be more than one.
Watch party. Yeah. But back to the conservative
LFG,
Dailywire specifically.
LGF.
Live action. They both
live
say
action, okay.
live action,
Nothing.
not the anime.
Yeah.
Says the Animated
So-
Moon.
I just don't understand where it's like when you're because the Daily Wire, it's small comparatively to the mainstream stuff, and
Yes.
when you're talking about making cultural impacts, it's like why go straight to the movies? Again, you can start small, like books and comic books. When you can have, they should have been a publisher, right? They should have just been like, okay, let's publish stuff that's not apolitical, right, and just has good stories, and that way that people can come to us and be the alternative to.
They could also
those literary
sell
agents.
political books because a lot of the people on their
Yes.
on their ballot are politically motivated people. And so
Right.
that
I mean,
if they could
yeah.
also do that, it would be a lot smarter way to go about it.
I think they
And-
already do that, but it's just that the stories, like the fiction stories, that's what's going to drive the culture. You know what I mean? They're self-helpish, like philosophical story, like books aren't really going to push culture.
Yeah.
And you could
100%.
furthermore you could just put good storytelling at the forefront of your new small business agenda, and essentially take whatever extra profits and incorporate it into your growth model that you will be donating to whatever political party that you support. You can do all that behind the scenes and separate the work from the art. And I will add that like every single artist and writer and human being has preferences, beliefs, ideas, things that shape who they are. And there's also just universal truths about the world. So each of us can't help.
A good story, they will come out one way or another.
It'll just happen. Like the sky is blue. You know what I mean? Gravity exists. Like there's certain things that just will come out in good stories.
Totally
And
agree.
there's ways you can tell the things. There's ways that you could tell your political talking points in a good neutral story where it still is supporting what you believe in. Like, for
100%.
example, let's break down a very simplistic idea. Okay. Left versus right. Okay. Political. One side is anti-family, right? Quote unquote. The other side is pro-family, quote unquote. We'll just say pro-choice abortion, whatever. You can have simply stories that are strong and about family, because if they're strong, they will sell. People will love good stories. And if they're about family, they support what you're about. So there you go. And then you can always incorporate what I said into the business model and donate to your political party behind the scene. But there's no reason to force feed people anything. And there's no reason to guilt yourself into thinking you need a third-party consultant firm to tell you that your story is not good enough according to them, because they went to some bumfuck college in the middle of nowhere and spent all their money on a degree that's worthless now. So they need everybody to think the way that they do. Otherwise, they're out of the job.
It's like, can I give an example real quick? Like in recent, like if you do good storytelling, people will forgive a lot. Like I watched a portion of
bad animation.
That's but I watched a portion of the TV show for of The Last of Us recently, and there's a whole episode that's the entire episode is focused about on this gay relationship and how it developed over time, and it still does make me uncomfortable to a degree. I understand it. It wasn't my favorite episode, but people still really liked that episode because there was genuine care. Like it wasn't that we're gay and get over it kind of. That's not what they were doing with this episode. There was an actual story there. And so even people like me who don't enjoy that as much in their stories, they were very forgiving of that because the storytelling was really, really solid.
Exactly. Yeah, you put a good story, you can almost put anything into a story. You can check all those same diversity boxes and have like a strong like female of color as the protagonist, and just have a good story, and everybody will come to it.
So I didn't watch The Last of Us show.
You need to phrase that differently, son.
Yeah.
I didn't watch The Last of Us really show. Hard. But my one question about that episode, and I've heard a lot of praise for it, I'm sure it's good, but did that help the overall story at all? Or is it just like a good episode on its own?
It could have.
That's a waste of time.
It didn't have to be a dude. It could have been a woman, and it wouldn't have really. It would not have made any difference.
Well, I meant like the overall story of Last of Us, like because it wasn't that very contained episode. It play in? But
it did add context and add a degree of it did add to the loss.
World building.
It's the people.
So it's kind of like world building,
Character development also. If you're talking, let me follow. Are you talking about the gay episode of The Last of Us?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Okay. Yeah. Exposition, world building, and character development.
No, yeah. If it's like if all it does is a little bit of world building, then it's worth it. Like it just has to play some part in the overall story. I think
do something. Yeah.
Hey, if I was the Dailywire, I'll end the Dailywire subject on this. Why are they not like doing whatever they can or some kind of psyop into Brandon Sanderson, who's a Mormon? Like,
he values family.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, get him. Like, if you got him, there's no way that you're not successful, even if it's like one book. I
think the other thing about Sanderson is he plays ball a lot with what's been happening.
Some smaller, like there's this
a little bit
I used to talk with a lot.
Yeah, did you watch
a little bit?
Yeah, she
did you read the fourth
quite a bit?
Did you read the fourth Stormlight archive book?
Yeah, dude.
So it was the worst.
You sound excited.
Yeah,
but it was definitely his worst. So many other books out there.
Yeah, but like you did catch a little bit of the hints of some social current day stuff, like the sprites we have more than two genders, and it was such an eye roll. It was like, okay, which one of your fucking coffee getters made that suggestion?
I think it's because like for that, like it didn't have really an impact on the story. It was like I know the line you're talking about. They're like, oh well, those spren were not conceived by humans, therefore they don't conform to the same gender norms as humans do. And it was like a throwaway line that was never breached or talked about again.
Right, but it makes me think because I'm like, and I could be wrong, but it's like, okay, this is also coincidentally his worst book that I've read. So I'm like, is there a correlation, right?
I have a few theories in regards to that. I think, and he even talked about it. Part of it was that the you know how each Stormlight book has a large portion of it dedicated to the flashbacks of a single character. The flashbacks.
Oh, I agree with this.
They did not land the way that they should have in the fourth book.
Bad. Yeah.
And it was mostly like going back in Venli's past and because they already kind of did that, they already showed the Parshendi perspective in the first book a little bit. And even in the second book, I'm like,
they were going over stuff we already knew.
it feels like we're retracking kind of old stuff a little bit, and then Kaladin had a little bit of a regression in regards to it. I understand why, but all of these elements kind of came together in a weird way. But then like there were things about the Fourth Stormlight that I loved. Navani, I love like her portions with her and the Parshendi woman. What's her name?
Is that
like,
the mother? No.
Yeah,
that
is the mother.
I like the first half. The first half because it was mainly like her book, and I love the signs. Like going into the signs, I was like, dude, this is honestly the first half of that fourth book. I was like, this might be my favorite one. And then it was like
feeling similarly, yeah.
Like he does do this thing where he has a twist, and I won't ruin the twist, but sometimes he has twists, and he'll hint it like to death. And sometimes it crosses a point, and you're just like, dude, like you literally have to have only 2 brain cells to not get this twist at this point.
That being said, sometimes he'll get me.
Which is handholding.
Sometimes.
That's handholding though, right?
What was that?
It's 2 handholding, and there is this thing because he has a philosophy where spoiling a story, and there's tests and studies to back this up, that if you spoil a story to somebody, they actually are more likely to enjoy it.
Yeah,
but I understand the data. I hate it. Royce and I were arguing about this either. I have a whole script about a video written for it. It's going to be a thing. I'm not going to argue against the science. I'm just going to talk about my personal reasons why I'd rather not be spoiled on a story that I actually care about. But anyway, yeah. And that's fine. Yeah.
So I agree that like kind of with both points, right? So like if you got a really good twist, I don't want that spoiled. But then again, like if I do know the twist, I know I'm gonna like it, and I will still enjoy it. So maybe I worded some of my things wrong. But Berserk, I actually had Berserk spoiled for me. In the beginning, and actually Berserk spoils itself in the beginning, because right off the bat in the beginning,
a major plot point.
So the whole time you're on the edge of your feet, and you're like, how does this happen? Now the twist is you never could guess the direction it goes to.
Well, that's also a little bit of a Japanese storytelling convention too. They'll show the future, and then most of the story is technically a flashback. I've seen it happen in a lot of Japanese storytelling. You guys talk for a second. I'm dying.
So a little bit of that
water
in here.
I was going to say we should probably book, man. The cover, the eye and the earth. I need to see it. Anyway.
We should probably end this actually. If we're an hour and a half.
Okay. I'm good for a minute then. Yeah.
But I was going to say real quick. Yeah, the eclipse. My roommate was watching it, and I literally see it on the screen, and I'm like, Gonzo, I'm like, what is this? Fuck are you watching? And he's like, oh, it's Berserk. I'm like,
it's so much porn.
That looks sick. Awesome, right? And then I watched it. I was like, holy shit, this is the best thing I ever picked up. It goes from there. But all right, hey, we actually had quite a bit of people stick around for this.
I really can't see the numbers. Yeah, people hung out. It was a good time, man. Especially like you're still growing your channel too. This is great. Yeah.
Yeah. So
also,
next
if
week,
any of you aren't subscribed, I will find you.
And I will kill you.
On my show, usually I won't do this, but as you can see, I'm driving the short bus today, as I'm always driving it on this channel.
As one does.
So,
that hurt my eyes. Holy crap. Join
me on my short bus in this venture, because you are retarded because you've been watching this, and it's a truth, as Pritchard's been saying. We all are actually retarded. It's just coming to the realization of
every single one of us. Join us on the Iron Seas. We're driving a bus on the ocean. There's nothing that can go wrong.
So hey guys, subscribe to all of our channels, because what we're doing, and this might be really stupid. I just admitted I'm retarded, but we'll see if it works out. Hopefully it does. We're cycling the channel through all of our the show through all of our channels. Next week we're doing the Ultimate Kahuna, so the show is going to be on his channel, and then obviously the week after that it's going to be Pritchard. It's not always going to be, because if we have something coming up or something going on, we might not be able to host it. So follow us on Twitter.
Some of us are very popular and may not always be there, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right, guys.
So. Yeah, I'm Bat Sauce on everything. Check the description. It has all of our links to everything. My book, the audiobook, it's on my Substack. free to listen to. It's pretty long. I got a lot of pages here. It's like over 300 pages,
Pretty
something like
long.
that.
Really
Pretty long.
impressive. Truth be
Impressive.
told.
The second book will come out probably next year, hopefully. But all right, that's all I'm going to plug. Kahuna, you got anything to say before we sign off?
I have a great many things to say. Thank you for being here and enjoying this content with us. Disgusting stories, making fun of the mainstream, and taking really unethical bad quizzes. You can find me at The Ultimate Kahuna, YouTube, and X, or Twix, whatever you want to call it. Check out Batos' YouTube channel. It's freaking awesome. Check out AC Pritchard. He has a book as well as his own YouTube channel in the form of Pritchard Pub. Thank you for being here. Woo!
Anyway, guys, that's all I got. Sorry.
What an honor.
All right.
How do you follow
AC, what
that?
you got going on?
I don't even know how you follow that. Yeah, follow me on
I'm in like half-mast. I'm pretty excited. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. At @A_C_Pritchard. That goes for basically all socials. You can find me on Instagram and all that. You can go to acpritchard.substack.com right there and read some free fantasy spirit animals. I'm loving it. It's taking on a life of its own. The next episode, once I'm done, is going to be voiced by that man right there. Yes, the Turtle Lord himself, doing the voice of Miyoku Hookea.
I'm supposed to be the retarded one on this show.
That's amazing.
You don't know me, Brother
All right.
Jake. I grew up homeschooled.
And as we end this show, we all agreed we're going to sing "Come Sail Away" by Styx, greatest band ever. Come sail. No, I'm just kidding. All right, fuck off later, guys.
Yeah.
Bar with the bar, the bang, the dang, dig, dig, dig. Set the boogie, sit up, jump the boogie. Bar with the bar, the bang, the dang, dang, diggy, diggy, dig. Set the boogie, sit up, jump the boogie. Bar with the bar, the bang, the dang, dig, dig, dig. Set the boogie, sit up, jump the boogie. Bar with the bar, the bang, the dang, dang, diggy, diggy, dig. Set the boogie, sit up, jump the boogie.